let's examine the continuing saga that is the continued humiliation of one Will Smith, primarily by Will Smith and his wife, Jada Smith. So everybody's probably aware, if you weren't paying attention last week, what were you doing? But Will Smith, after Chris Rock at the Oscars made an incredibly tame joke about the fact that his wife has got a shaved head, decided to get up and slap Chris Rock in the face. There have been many memes about it. I'm sure you've all seen those. There was some contention of people saying that it might have been staged, might have been fake, so that people could get more attention on the Oscars. But I don't. What do you think of those?
I was kind of under the impression that it might have been staged, and I was kind of annoyed that everyone had fallen into the PR thing. But as time's gone on, and I've dug a little deeper into the relationship between him and his wife and her wife's boyfriend.
Yes.
I kind of understand why he might be a little bit touchy about his wife. So now I'm a bit more willing to entertain the fact that it was
certainly not touchy
genuine.
around him, I suppose. Perhaps other men.
Oh dear.
No, yeah, that's the thing with me, is that I don't think it was staged at all, primarily because it drew so much attention to how toxic the relationship is. The motivation made no sense to me, that Will Smith would agree to do this for the Oscars at the expense of his own public reputation. And I think the consequences of it also bear that out. For instance, we've got here New York Post saying that Netflix and Apple Plus have dropped plans for a Will Smith biopic after the slap. For anybody who's forgotten, there's a nice image of the slap as it's happening. Chris Rock doesn't look like he's having a great time.
He looks like he's dancing, to be honest.
It doesn't look a little bit funky, doesn't it? But Will Smith, I think last year, released a book about himself just called, as you can see there, Will. And I assume Netflix were going to just make a show about that. Not anymore, it seems. Also, some other Will Smith projects have been put on hold, including a film that I didn't know was being made, Bad Boys 4.
Well, he saved us all from that then.
Well, he was certainly a bad boy.
That sounds so wrong.
I realise that's going to get clipped. Apparently, as well as Will Smith losing out on opportunities, it's also being sociologically, psychologically investigated by the usual suspects, the usual types. Libs of TikTok saying unreal. Professor Isa Nefertari Ulan, a guest on NewsHour, says that Will Smith's slap was triggered by 400 years of black erasure and black silencing.
I didn't realise that was his wife's name.
Dear. Yes, and even other Hollywood celebrities, along with the public, thought it was pretty funny that it happened. I've just saw this clip going around on Twitter that's quite funny of Andrew Garfield just immediately after the Oscars pretending to slap people. Because everybody else in the audience seemed very shocked by the whole thing, but there were a few in there who seemed to be holding back giggles. And I appreciate it does show, at least even in the degeneracy that is Hollywood, there might be a few people who are still got a bit of a sense of humour.
The thing is, when I saw Ricky Gervais hosting things like the Oscars, you had people like Scorsese and De Niro laughing at the jokes, and then you go to someone like Tom Hanks and he's just there really stern.
Tom Hanks was the cream of the crop in terms of reaction faces to Ricky Gervais because he was not happy. But yeah, I think it showed that there was a bit of a division in terms of the people who can still laugh at themselves and those who just don't seem to have that ability anymore. Along with all of this, people seem to be trying to memorialize the situation by, for some reason, getting it tattooed on various parts of their body.
What's wrong with people? Something happens in the world, immediately they're like, I must call my tattoo artist.
I know, this person's got a tattoo on there, just above their ankle. They said, I thought, let's do it. It's hilarious. Birmingham-based tattoo artist John Arton said, it's quite small and discreet. If it wasn't, I probably wouldn't have done it. I don't know, that doesn't look as small and discreet as he's making it out to be. If you scroll down, there's a few more of them, because that one seems to be a pretty accurate trying to be photorealistic almost in black and white. And then we've got some, stencil ones. Carry on going down. I think, we've got this action shot that's even included motion lines, so you could really feel the kinetic force of the slap.
It's just red emanating from behind them, like he's slapping him into the depths of hell.
It's because it was such a bloodbath. obviously. And speaking of Ricky Gervais, actually, Ricky Gervais had something to say about it, which was that he mocked the claim that came out afterwards that Jada Smith, who is shaving her head because she suffers from alopecia, people started to say, "Oh, alopecia is a disability. You can't joke about that anymore." There was an unusual amount of people on Twitter and other such places arguing that it was perfectly fine for Will Smith to have slapped Chris Rock over this incredibly tame joke.
So they're taking the Larry David in Curb Your Enthusiasm line of bold people are a protected group.
Yes. Unironically, yes. But Ricky Gervais had a lot to say about this. Defending Rock's tame joke on Wednesday, Gervais began by saying, "You don't hit someone over a joke, however bad it is," and it wasn't bad. Which is true. It was very, very tame. It was the tamest joke I would have ever told. It was a pretty light touch, to be fair, unlike Will himself. And people were going, what would have happened if Ricky Gervais had been hosting the Oscars? Well, nothing, as I wouldn't have made a joke about his wife's hair. I would have made a joke about her boyfriend. Classic Gervais wit right there. And he also said, in regards to the whole alopecia's a disability now, he said, "Well, I'm going a bit thin on top. I'm disabled," he said, pointing to his head. "That means I can park right up next to Tesco's now. And I'm fat. That's a disease. I'm fat and balding. I should get effing benefits." I do love Ricky. He's always fantastic. And then, of course, people related to Jada and Jada herself seem to have thrown Will completely under the bus for this, despite the fact that you could see from the actual footage, if you saw it, that Will was actually laughing along, having a good time at the Oscars, just enjoying himself, really, until that joke came about, and he was still having a good time. And then Jada threw him the look. And anybody who's been in the doghouse with his missus will know the look. And that's what seemed to inspire Will to go up and defend his wife's honour, or what little there is of it. But now she's apparently come out and said, "I'm not a woman who needs protecting." Throwing him under the bus yet again. Will, what are you doing with this woman?
This sounds like a healthier relationship. It looks at him, "You need to go sort this out." He goes up there, sorts it out. "I don't need protecting."
Why did you do that, Will? You're obviously not picking up the right signals.
It's almost like she's not an ideal wife to Will Smith, isn't it?
I know.
Funny that.
Men, take note. This isn't just the celebrity gossip section of the Lotus Eaters. There are some genuine bits of advice that you can take out of this, which is, as ever, don't stick your dick in crazy. I think that's rule number one for most people. But this information comes from a source who said she's not one of those women that needs protecting. He didn't need to do what he did. She didn't need protecting. She's not a wallflower. She's a strong woman, an opinionated woman. I bet she is. And she can fight her own battles, but she will stand by him.
I'm sure strong women need other people to emphasise how strong they are,
I'm
and
sure,
that she will stand by him as well.
I'm sure when she was sleeping with somebody else, Will really felt her love and support emanating through.
We shouldn't judge. Maybe he gets off on all of that. Maybe he was at the end of the bed. We can't speculate.
What, in a Superman outfit from the wardrobe?
Oh no.
And then the person who was involved in what was lightly referred to by Jada as an entanglement, which is a man called August Alsina, has decided he's going to reference the whole thing in a song. And this isn't all he's doing, but Jada Pinkett Smith's former lover, August Alsina, who's credited with bringing the couple's affair to light in 2020, just came out with a new song referencing the situation. You can't knock the hustle, can you?
Well-timed grift.
Yeah, a true industrious man takes advantage of every opportunity. Well, of course, some S is bound to go down when you tangled up with the world's favourite, Alsina sings in the clip. So, yeah, he's just using the situation for clout, not very poetically, but, I mean, he's a rapper. What can we expect?
You can't really call it poetry, can you?
Well, some people would, depends on who you're talking about. But the new song from the R&B star prompted a mix of reactions, with some Twitter followers questioning why Alsina was still hung up on Jada all these years later.
Because it'll make him money, that's why.
It'll make him a lot of money. If August Alsina don't let that entanglement go, that's probably why she ain't effing with you now, talking like a Barbie. one person wrote.
Would you be able to translate that into English?
No, I don't understand what that means. Who gave this retard a phone? I mean, Jesus Christ. This is the state of internet discourse. But it's not just that he's written a song about it, which he'll presumably make quite a lot of money off. It's also that he's penning a tell-all book, which he's being given a lot of offers for from publishers for a lot of money. Bids for a book by August reportedly came piling in following the fallout from Will's altercation with comedian Chris Rock at the Oscars over a joke he made about Jada's lack of hair. A source close to August, who was less than half Jada's age when they started dating, gross, has claimed he is getting ready to sign a big money book deal about his romantic liaisons with Jada. Jada, I can never know how to pronounce her name.
I think it's Jada, isn't it?
Jada, yeah. The source also revealed he has always maintained that Will gave him permission to sleep with Jada, something they have publicly denied. So, I guess we'll find out. I don't know why you would agree to something like that, but this whole situation seems thoroughly messed up, so maybe. It has even been claimed that August could address how he spent time living in homes owned by Will when he was away filming. That's gotta hurt, right? Because not only is this man sleeping with your wife, he's doing it in your bed as well.
How on earth is he tolerating this? How has he not already divorced her?
I mean, this is next level cuckoldry.
It is. I mean,
perhaps you are right. Perhaps he does enjoy it secretly.
Well, yeah, I don't understand what man could ever tolerate
I'm
this.
just speaking that red table talk, though. He did not seem happy discussing all of that on camera, especially given the fact he was crying. But maybe it's all a front. He's an actor after all, so maybe it is all a front.
I can't help but feel a little bit sorry for him, though.
I know, I do as well, especially given that Will Smith's films are films that I've enjoyed for a long time. In public, he's always come across like, you know, a guy who cares about his family. He's trying to set a good example for people. And then now he's just time and time again recently, humiliation after humiliation. The guy can't catch a break, but at the same time, none of that justifies him just assaulting someone randomly at the Oscars. Not because, of course, none of us are ever supporting that. We just kind of feel bad for the guy because, I mean, seriously, come on, everything we've gone through. And there's more, because there is always more. I'm not sure how true this particular bit is, but even if it isn't true, it kind of speaks to the level of discourse that we're at with Will Smith right now and how everybody's taking the opportunity to absolutely crap all over the guy. So apparently, Willow Smith, who is Will Smith's daughter, letter to Tupac asking him to make Jada happy again goes viral. A letter reportedly written by Willow Smith asking rapper Tupac Shakur to come back to make her mum, Jada Pinkett Smith, happy is going viral online. The letter resurfaced after the spotlight was shone on Will Smith and Jada's marriage. Jada had a close relationship with the rapper until his death, following a drive-by shooting at the age of 25 in 1996. Jada said that she was inseparable from Tupac from the day they met as teenagers, though she's always insisted that they were just good friends and never dated. Just because you didn't date someone doesn't mean you didn't sleep with them, especially in the rap scene in the 90s. Willow, who was 11 years old at the time, in 2012, reportedly added a picture of the letter to her Instagram in August 2012, saying that she wrote it years ago, but the post has since been deleted. Also, Jesus Christ. I mean,
I know. I mean,
what is this? If I was Will, I'd be maybe thinking about just ditching and starting over again. I mean, you're still, in his mid-50s? You can start another family, Will. It's not too late.
Don't tell him to abandon his kids.
I mean, they're
I feel
adults
very
now.
sorry
They're
for
adults
them.
now. They can fend for themselves.
I suppose that it's not like they don't have careers of their own.
Yeah, it's not like they don't have mountains of money to survive off. Will, you can start again. You can move out to the countryside and have a wholesome family. Also, John pointing out, how do we know that you're here? There's only one way to know that they're yours, Will, which is to move out and have some more with someone else, please. In the full letter, it read, "Dear Tupac, I know you are alive someplace. I think that my mommy really misses you. Can you please come back? Can you come back so mommy and me can be happy? I wish you were here. I really do. Love, Willow." Now that's probably, let's be honest, that's probably
quite
fake.
sad as well, if it is true.
I think it's fake, but even if it isn't, this has gone viral. Loads of people have seen this, so even if it is fake, loads of people probably think it's real. and therefore is another point of humiliation on for poor Will Smith. But yeah, if it is true, it is sad, and it also speaks to, once again, the dysfunction of the family.
Yeah, I don't doubt that there's some kind of wildly dysfunctional thing going on there. Not to be an armchair psychologist, but
Well, I mean, you are a psychologist, so
in an armchair. I can't help it, really.
yeah, but it turns out that Will Smith doesn't actually really need any help humiliating himself. As bad as I feel for the guy, he kind of invites this stuff when, as part of his memoir that he released last year, he admitted to some rather unusual behaviour, including vomiting after orgasming as a psychosomatic reaction. Why would you admit this? I understand you want to be honest with people, but you can leave out some of these kinds of details, man. Come on.
There's honest and then there's this.
Yeah,
I mean,
so Will
who
Smith...
even wants to know?
I know.
I mean, the image in my head is so abhorrent to me right now.
I never said you had to picture it in your head, Josh, you
Well,
degenerate.
I didn't try to. It just happened, all right?
Okay, you've got visual imagination. Fair play. But it says, Will Smith handled heartbreak not by listening to sad tunes, but by having too much sex. Pretty Chad move, not going to lie. But then vomited as a result. The star revealed in his new memoir, Will, that he turned into a gag-prone ghetto hyena sexually after his then-girlfriend, Melanie, cheated on him. So, what we've learned there, this isn't even the first time he's been with a woman who has been very unfaithful to him. You'd think you would learn by this point. I understand you've got a family with this woman, Will, but once again, there's always other options. You could go off, new family, all great, just disappear from the public eye, live a happy life on a ranch or something. I desperately need relief, but as there is no pill for heartbreak, I resorted to the homeopathic remedies of shopping and rampant sexual intercourse, Will
Sounds
writes.
like a well-adjusted response to that.
It does. Up until this point in my life, I had only had sex with one woman other than Melanie, but over the next few months, I went full ghetto hyena. Apparently, that didn't agree with his inner being, so Smith developed a psychosomatic reaction to ejaculating. I had sex with so many women, and it was so constitutionally disagreeable to the core of my being that I developed a psychosomatic reaction to having an orgasm, he writes. It would literally make me gag and sometimes vomit. I mean, to be fair, it sounds like a quick way to get them out the door.
Yeah, I mean, he's stealing my moves.
I was going to say, you're going to try and incorporate this one. Oh, God, I feel so ill, darling. Oh, you best get out. You don't want to see what happens next. But yeah, John's pointing out again, he seems to be a cook at heart, so fair play. Smith went on to marry Cherie Zampino in 1992, but the pair divorced in 1995. He then married his now wife, Jada Pinkett Smith, with whom he has an open relationship. So this article's from last year, and everybody was already aware that he's got an open relationship, and this whole Oscars thing has just drawn more attention to it and how effed up the whole thing is, really, psychologically, physically, and otherwise. So Will Smith will never learn, apparently. You've always got the other option, but I wish you luck, Will. Please, maybe go out of the public eye for a bit and leave all this behind you.
If you appreciated that segment from the podcast The Lotus Eaters, you can go to lotuseaters.com to get access to all the content we have on the site, such as this article by Bo Day on Will Smith is not suicidal. Trust me, bro. But also, if you'd like to follow what else we're bringing out, you can follow us on Getter at lotuseaters_com on Getter. Thank you and goodbye.